I think I found it. Oh yeah, I think this is it. In early 2020, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Green Mountain Metal Detecting, started a series where they investigated a legend of a treasure buried in the mountains of Vermont. Over the course of the next 2 years, they dropped approximately 8 episodes detailing their search for the treasure. Spoiler alert, in the final video, they revealed they couldn't find the treasure. However,
we've taken it upon ourselves to hide our own.
We melted down over $1,000 of silver bullion, poured it into bars, placed them in a chest and hid it away somewhere in the Vermont mountains.
All the information you need to find it is hidden somewhere in these 8 episodes of Finding the Vault of DeGrau.
And so the legend lives on. Good luck.
this video was posted on December 17th, 2021, and almost immediately after I watched it, I texted my younger brother to let him know about the treasure. He hadn't been watching the series, and that he and I should try to find it. I live in Vermont, and I knew that Brad, well, I think he's on the other side of the state for me. It wasn't that far, and possibly wouldn't be that hard for me to find. After I sent to my brother, he started watching the videos, and almost immediately he cracked the code, figured out where the treasure was hidden roughly, and got me directions on how to find it. After my brother figured it out, he sent an email to Brad to let him know, and Brad sent this cryptic response back to him. Now that we knew where the treasure was located, I just had to go find it. So that Monday, the 20th, I took the day off work and drove to the location where the treasure was hidden, or at least where we thought it was hidden. Once I got to the spot, I realized it would be like finding a needle in a haystack. There are literally thousands and thousands of boulders and trees down and little caves and all sorts of things in this area to hide, a tiny little treasure box. So I started searching. Not to mention there was probably 8 to 10 inches of snow on the ground, which made the going tough, made it slightly dangerous, and made it extremely hard to find anything. With a few hours of searching under my belt, I was exhausted, and I couldn't find anything. A few days later on Thursday, I had the day off from work because Christmas was almost upon us, and so I took the opportunity to go back down and to try to search again. My brother and I, searched for more clues in the videos. My wife had tried to help us. Basically, we were going to try to expand the search area beyond just the area like directly around the spot that we thought it was at. So I got there pretty early in the morning, before 9 o'clock, I'm pretty sure. And I walked up there, but this time there were 3 cars parked there where no cars had been parked before. All of them with out-of-state plates, which I thought was really weird. Why would out-of-staters be in the middle of Vermont on a really cold winter day right before Christmas? So as I walked in, I noticed there was a group of seemingly hikers coming out. Three of them. It looked like a young family. They had a kind of a daughter, maybe a 10-year-old daughter with them. And I gave them, kind of a wide berth in the trail. I mean, strangers in the woods, middle of pandemic type thing. But as I walked by, I was going to ask them, like, did Brad and Eddie send you? But, I didn't want to seem like a crazy person. But I did kind of glance back, and the guy had a big old beard. He kind of glanced back at me, and we sort of, caught eyes as we were looking at each other. But I just kept going. I figured it was hard to find, so even if they had been searching for it, maybe they didn't find it. So I just kept searching that day. I spent probably 6 hours out there and didn't end up finding it. So I went home pretty dejected. And that evening I sent an email to Brad letting him know kind of what I'd been up to, all the things that I had done, and just let him know that, I was probably going to take a little break searching for it. And he got back to me the next day to let me know that someone had found the treasure, and that because there's still something hidden out there, he didn't want to spoil it by telling me if I was in the right spot or not.
We sit down today with Ben Harper.
Oh my God, it was the guy on the trail.
Here's the check.
I was within 5 feet of the treasure as it walked past me, leaving the vicinity. Oh my God, I'm so pissed about this still. It's been like 7 months.
My sister and my niece, we kind of set out on the trail.
That I saw about an hour before I got there.
18 degrees outside.
Like, here comes the absolute worst
part. It was a nice morning.
Right here. Just listen.
And I will say too, when we started out on the trail with the snow, I mean, there were a fair amount of footprints in the snow, so I was getting pretty nervous.
Oh my God.
once we got up to that area, they kind of died out and weren't there anymore.
Yeah, they did, because
so
I couldn't find it.
A little bit better about it.
Before I go any longer, I want to say congrats to this guy for finding it. You know, it was really tough. So I don't want to disparage him and his beautiful family anymore. They did a great job finding it. Instead, I think what I'll do is I'll talk about how I eventually did find the treasure.
I think I found it.
He recorded a video of showing him finding it, so you could kind of see where it actually was. This little tree right here, right next to the girl, it's kind of got a little hook on it. That was my big clue. Now that I had seen exactly where this was hidden, I knew I could find it. I was in the right spot. It was just a matter of finding a particular little area where the treasure was hidden. So I waited a few months into early March, waiting for the days to get a little warmer. Hopefully some of the snow would melt, and then I went back. I'm back. I'm walking towards the treasure. I'm hoping I find this thing in like the next 25 minutes. Spoiler alert, it was longer than 25 minutes. I walked back up the hill through the area where I bumped into Mr. Harper and his family, went back to the spot that I had originally started searching from, but continued further down the path, now looking for landmarks to point the way. Okay, I think I found it. So this little friend right here, this little forked tree on the ground, there's the other tree in the background, there's the rock. I think it must be right in that little crook right there. Oh yeah, I think this is it. Oh yeah, there it is, found it. So now that I had the box, I pulled it out, and I won't get into the details exactly what's in there, but Brad was true to his word. There is a way for people who find the box after the original guy to still get a little token, is what he calls it, of his appreciation for going to the lengths of finding the treasure. Probably no clues in my video that are going to help you actually find the treasure. You'll need to go to Brad's videos to find the clues and to ultimately find the treasure. The only help that these videos might be is to give you a slightly different angle as to the actual physical spot with which the treasure is now hidden. Now the question is, how close was I before? I don't think I was as close as I thought I might be. This is the spot. I was back this way away. I'll try to do this without dying because it is very slippery with ice and snow out here. It was hard to find this. I was looking at the video that they took when they found it. The proportions are like slightly off. Like the area looked a lot bigger than it actually was, which I think is what caused me to kind of walk by this the first time. It was way, where was I before? Yeah, I was not that close to this. That makes me feel a little bit better that I didn't just like kind of walk past it and then went 50 other directions. Yeah, this is where I was. So I think I was up on that tree, and I looked over that way, and I followed those up the hill, and I went up that hill, and I probably scanned around here, but there's no way I went that far down there. So I was off by 50 feet. In that place, 50 feet might as well have been 50 miles. If you miss it by even a few feet, you'd walk right past it and never know it was there. And that was the end of my adventure. I had found the treasure. I was actually the third person to find it. Someone else had found it between Mr. Harper and I. But nonetheless, I was super excited. I could tie a bow on that adventure, and there was a little prize left for myself and for others who might find it after me. So if you're anywhere near Vermont and you want a fun treasure hunt, I suggest you go watch Brad's videos about DeGrau, and watch his other videos while you're at it, but watch those in particular and see if you can solve the mystery and find yourself a treasure hidden in the mountains of Vermont. After I finished this video, I shared it with my brother, and this is what he had to say. Thanks, bro.